And yeah, that was great. I enjoyed that a lot. Obviously, Hikaru and I had something to talk about since we're both new dads. I see that Ella Carlsen is in the chat already. Should also always appreciate. Okay, apparently this is the Sicilian defense cowboy attack. I like that. I think the fact that g6 is a good response to b3 is something that Peter, my current golf and chess coach, let me know almost 22 years ago when he played the move also in Spain in the Spanish league. Is the volume low? Well, that is a shame. And then I played it against Aravind, I believe, in the Qatar Masters in 2015, and I had a very good position from the opening. Later on, I had a bad position, but you can't blame the opening for that. That was just ultimately a skill issue. So here, I would say I've definitely equalized, and I'm a little bit better already. I think he has to make a move like bishop e2 here. Seems to me that if he plays h3, I can take and then get away with being a pawn grabber. Well, I shall ask him to prove that this was not simply a bluff. Also, my blitz rating is pretty atrocious right now. People are I mean, for me it's bad. But I hemorrhaged rating yesterday trying to play in the car to and from the airport. And there were partly connection issues, partly skill issues that cost me there. So that's how it is. Okay, so that was probably a clever move. I guess he wants this. Just protecting. I mean, I could have gone e6. Why didn't I go e6? That was very unintelligent. Now I probably lost all real chances of having an advantage. Yeah, he goes here. Guess I have to trade queens. Then knight d4, but there's bishop takes b7, and ultimately will be fairly equal, but equal endgames. We've been there before. We're fine. Like John Morant in the West. For those who get that reference. Should be 4 now. Probably is a good move. c3, well, that's possible, but he does get to trade some pieces, but he does also lose pawn. Let's trade. Take c3. Rook c1. It's logical. Then he'll take c5. We're probably going to get some 4-on-3 on the king side sort of position here, which I don't really mind. Should be able to grind that down with, grind him down with combination of extra material and extra time and hopefully extra skills. Here I'm just preventing rook c7. If it goes here, I can either go knight c1. Well, that was a blunder. Now he loses this pawn, and he really should lose the game. Yeah, rook a5, I suppose. It's the best try, but with 2 extra pawns, even though he has an active rook, this shouldn't be too difficult. f4, that kind of weakens his pawns a little bit. Let's go h4. Maybe that was... I mean, that was probably seriously dumb. Yeah, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, I was acting as if we're playing 4 against 3 already, but... Well, I don't think that was his best. Now, at least practically speaking, I should be able to get home. I think e5 is... No, e5 takes, and then... Is king h6 good? That's a very interesting position, actually. e5... fe, king h6, rook b6. Got f5 then. But it doesn't really do anything. Otherwise, I kind of have to let his king out of jail. King h6, rook f7, e5. And then I take f4. Yeah, maybe that's better. I think he has to go... Yeah, okay. Oh my god. I am so dumb. This is pure idiocy. I mean, I just allowed stalemate. That is incredibly poor. What can I even do? Okay. I don't like, now I'm not even up on time, so how am I even trying to... Oh well, how am I even trying to flag him? Okay, this was less than ideal. How do I even try here? Like, I'm not remotely better. I mean, now he's placing his pieces on some very suspicious squares, but ultimately I think he's still fine. Okay, if I can get this position with him to move, but I can't do that. Okay. Let's see if he... If he goes for that. Oh wow. Okay. That's a poor pre-move. He's really making a mess of this, but it's still a draw by quite a decent margin. King g4. Okay. It's a funny position. Queen d4, and I cannot play Oh boy, that should be a bad move. But I'm really short on time. No, I'm checkmating him now. Easy. Very easy. There you go. Smooth game. That's what you get. That's what you get on this stream. Okay, gotta be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. That was a bit suspicious. Okay. Next game starting in short order, since that game almost went down to the wire. Ilyushenok. I saw somebody playing like this. Played A3, I think. And then D3. Somebody played like this in the Challenger Tata Steel group. Maurizi, I think. I didn't get it, but he got a good position. Okay. Maybe a trade like this. Nah, bishops are better than knights, aren't they? Do I go G3 or bishop E2? I think I go bishop E2. I have a little bit less space and probably a slightly worse position, but I do have the bishop pair. I think it makes a little bit of sense to push b4 before you can play a5. Gain space over there. Also discouraging him from castling queenside over. Now I develop. And yeah, we got a fairly equal position. As I said, he has more space, but I have the bishop pair, which is hopefully a nice asset eventually, even though these bishops are not particularly impressive at the moment. Okay, let's go here to prevent bishop g4 after I played c3, which, surprise, surprise, is my plan for the next move. So now, otherwise, his bishop would go to g4 and he would establish control over this square. Now, after takes, it feels like I have a good Sicilian type of position with reversed colors. And yeah, I don't know why he's taking forever, because I don't think he has any serious alternatives to capturing on c3. Could be wrong. Rook c1 or maybe queen c1 actually. Bring the queen to either one of these squares. Looks decent. Yeah, no, a4. If he takes here, I take nice juicy central pawn. Oh, maybe I don't. Takes. Yeah, here I think he has knight takes d3. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Bishop takes c7. Rook dc8. Don't see what I'm particularly gaining there. Maybe I can win some material like this instead. Attacking e5, knight d7, rook b1. So, knight a4 though, I completely missed. And then rook b1, there's queen c3, which is not ideal. Maybe I go rook b1. Yeah, this was not great. This is not great at all, yeah. No, I'm still okay. Rook b7. If he'd gone queen c3, then queen b7. And just don't want to let his knight get to c3 too easily. Rook a c8, okay. I will take the pawn. I think he may have missed that. Now it should be considerably better. Rook b6, f6, I got knight c6. So he's not winning this pawn that easily. Knight b3. So how do I do this? I guess I take the pawn that's on offer. It's a good start. I'm guessing rook c1 and then rook c2, but that position is kind of screaming out for some sort of tactic. Maybe there's knight c6 at some point. So also bishop h5, and then trying to take on f7. I don't know. It seems like I'm rook c2 immediately. I don't get that. I don't get why he wouldn't check first and then be attacking this pawn. Maybe then he takes and then takes on d3. Okay, rook a7 should be plenty. Unless I'm missing something clear, this is just a rook ending with 2 extra pawns. Rook takes f7. I'm attacking this one as well. So, unlike the last rook end game with 2 extra pawns that I completely messed up, this... let's not say anything. Okay, he resigned. He didn't see my last game. Otherwise, I don't think he would have resigned here, seeing how I messed up the previous one. Yeah, engine sets that I'm a little bit better. b6, a4 is alright. And then this was dumb, which I thought. Oh, and then queen c4. How's this? Oh, queen b7, knight c5. There's knight e4. Yeah, that is just equal. But here, yeah, he's already in trouble. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to take a little bit of a break since we have a couple of minutes. And I mean, as people can tell, usually I just got in the building literally 2 minutes before the tournament started. And for once, I'm back, and the games haven't started yet. How about that? Personal improvement. I can see Martin wasn't that great. It's just a few. Just a few seconds to go, probably. It's a fun little scramble. Okay, at least we've scrambled to 2 out of 2, so good start. Okay, this guy, I think he's a content creator of some sort. Roberto JBM, or how do you say, Robert? Oh yeah, I can see he's streaming. So, as usual, check out his stream if you want dual view, or if you're sick of me as well. See what he wants to play. The Queen's Indian. It's been known as a good opening for many years. In Bronstein's famous book on the Zurich Candidates Tournament from, I think, 1952 or 53. I think 52. There's talk of like advice on what to do against the Queen's Indian, because it's an opening that does incredibly well in that tournament, and I think he ends up essentially recommending that you avoid it. And who am I to... Oh my god, he's castling queenside. That was unexpected. Well, I'll build up my play quickly then on the queenside against this king. But that changes the outlook of the game quite a bit. D5 is a logical response. I am going to take a pawn and open up a file. B4 was also quite possible, but this looks reasonable. And I'll give my opponent full marks for bravery for what he's doing here, but I don't think it's very good. ED5, and then I want to put my bishop on the longest diagonal that bishops, or queens for that matter, can find. Knight e4 is reasonable, but I think I'll chop that off. And then rook b8 lining up here. And it's very hard to see what kind of real compensation he has for... Well, the pawn may not live for very long, but for the fact that I have serious play on the queen side. And this sack looks kind of too tempting not to play. And since I'm also following up with c5, I think Robert is in the world of trouble. Or is it Hubert? Maybe it's Hubert. I don't even have to go for this immediately. Like, he does get a little bit of counterplay here with knight f5, but I should be well on top. I got a fun option after knight f5 to play bishop e6. And then knight takes d6. Queen takes d6, queen takes d6, bishop takes b2, king b1, bishop f5. I think either rook to d3. Maybe specifically this rook, actually. Because if he goes with this rook, then bishop e5, and if he takes the rook, then I take, and because of the pin, then he's losing a rook. And how about these arrows, by the way? This is artwork. Yeah, that was actually spotted by me as well. Believe it or not. And I thought that this would be an excellent response. Just need to double check that. F5, take pawn. Queen d6, queen d6, cb3, wins material. Knight c5, rook b2. That don't work. So I think we're good. I guess he's just trying to survive a little bit longer by exchanging queens, but this is a lost cause for sure. Let's not make it too difficult here. Rook e8. Rook e3 I can just take, and there's no background stalemate. Sorry, not stalemate, but checkmate. And here I think the same thing applies. Rook e1. And then bishop to e6. And crucially, this rook is pinned, so he cannot rudely checkmate me. And if he takes the bishop, then I take with the pawn and give myself an escape square. So he goes for the best chance, but even though he has a passed pawn, I have an extra bishop, and that is a more important factor. Let's run with the pawn. Yeah, let's go here just to make sure that this pawn is not advancing. And that's all she wrote. Yeah, it was a brave opening play by my opponent, but yeah, you should not castle queenside here. Immediate b5. That would have been classier. Back rank stalemate is my favorite kind of stalemate. Yes, correct, Asios. The engine doesn't even want me to take material, but this obviously wins quite trivially. Okay, a stress-free win. Couple of stress-free wins, actually. After the first really stressful game. Let's look at this. Tennis Master against Chess Master Ricardo. Just finished in checkmate coming up. Oh, he went for the 1a6, huh? Oh, this was clever. F4 and then... The engine probably doesn't love it, but... I mentioned it at the panel today with Betby that especially the kids, they cannot handle positions against Hikaru where there's a fixed pawn structure. He's very experienced and good in those, and he loves knights as well. So, oh, the ice skater. Yeah, that's true. You know what? Let's look at... Nah, this game is over. Let's see. Does he see that the rook is attacked? How about Mishanik? He's gonna win on time, isn't he? And position. King b6, rook f7, rook a6, king b5. Game is over. Like has an extra knight. What about Grishuk? Oh, this could be exciting. Let's watch this. Queen f5 doesn't threaten. Actually, it did threaten rook h8. Now black is safe. He has a winning position, but he has very, very little time. So Grishuk just needs to survive a few more moves. But Sadok is playing fast and well right now. Just trade the queens. This is some legendary pre-moving going on right now. Oh. This is so tough. Oh. He's queening. Does he have time? Oh. Oh. Oh, that's checkmate coming up. Wow. This is what you get with 5-0 on Title Tuesday. A lot of these fun scrambles. Okay, next round should be starting very, very soon. I prefer 5-0. It's more fun to play without increment. Also 5 minutes gives a lot of time to yap, which I occasionally like. Okay. This is Crescent Moon, aka... Yeah, I'm not gonna try and pronounce the whole name. This guy is the same age as me, so he was one of the top contenders at youth championships back in the day. Let's play c5. I haven't looked at this in forever. Okay, so he goes for cb6, which is reasonable, but it's passive. Now white is a little bit better. And I think this one we can ignore. Just castle. Oh, he chooses to take. That's interesting. So this does increase my space advantage. Now I think here, take on h7, takes d4. I think that's a trade I'm pretty happy with. Queen d6 is normal. We continue to ignore the pawn. Well, now I guess we cannot continue to ignore the pawn anymore, since maybe we can actually. But do I have any useful moves? Maybe play a3. Try and get him to burn a little time wondering if he wants to take this pawn still. I also have bishop a6, by the way. Rook c1 is a bit soft. I don't love that move. Okay, knight a5, so he releases the tension on that particular point. His plan is clearly to go knight c4. Let's start the attack on the king side now, since after all, I feel like that's where my main potential lies here. b5. That was expected. Should I go a4? I feel like that's reasonable. b4. Then my knight moves. And this point is softened. Okay, I guess I should take the chance to trade a pawn while I can. Just realized you can take here, which is pretty sloppy play for me, but he doesn't go for it. b3, knight a5, take b5, there's rook b1. Maybe this is good. No, it wasn't that good. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with my play in this game, boys and girls. I don't like these weaknesses. I shouldn't have let him take on f4. I know it's objectively very reasonable, but it's ugly. No, that's a blunder. He allows knight d7. Otherwise, this would have been a very good move. But unfortunately for him, I've learned how the knight moves. So now I've caught my opponent in a fork. Not an easy win, by the way. He still has positional compensation, but it's a good start. This seems like a good idea. Takes, queen d4. I like that. Try and play dynamically. Knight f5, I got queen h8, king e7, and then I got knight takes d5, rook takes c8 later on, which simplifies the game to my definite advantage. So, interesting game for sure, but I think it's going to be decided by a fairly crude blunder, after all. This is probably his best chance. No. Queen takes d5. And maybe he'll take the pawn on h4. Okay, he doesn't go for it. I think he should have tried that, because what does he really have to lose? This is the plan. Yeah, let's go b4. Knight c4, but I got more avenues for the rook. I didn't know why I went b4. That was not necessary. Let's put him in a pin. Here I got queen c5, so you cannot really run away. It's reasonable, but there's queen c5 still. And then there's check and queen d2, and I just realized that queen c8 wins on the spot because of the pin. Otherwise, I got rook a7 next. It's game over. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I was really better here. Maybe a4 was dumb. Yeah, I don't really have anything. Here, b3, knight d6, queen e3. And specifically because of this fork, then I actually am somewhat better. Yeah, you see, if I don't have that fork, I'm not doing well at all. But fortunately, and this was, d5 was nice and crisp, actually. Because otherwise, it's not an easy conversion at all. But here I managed to simplify. His pieces doesn't get the same good squares, and yeah. If I'd been even sharper, I might have spotted this. And then if bishop takes d5, rook takes c8, I win a queen. But what I did was plenty good enough. Okay, let's do our usual and watch Mr. Hikaru. g6 now. Don't really believe that he has too much of an attack. Rook d7, rook f4. Here takes, and then g6 maybe. Or g6 immediately still. I think you gotta go g6 here. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that knight d4, ed4, g6 loses this knight, but I think still with those passed pawns, black is doing well. Oh, really? He allows the sack. Maybe he feels that he can run away, but this was very strange. I think just g6 was a lot more logical. So king here is forced, it seems, and then there's check here, and then either black has a perpetual or pretty much, maybe there's knight e7, knight g8. But this is going to go Hikaru's way, I feel. Queen e2 would be interesting, because here, then you prevent mate, king g8. Black probably has a winning position, but question is whether he can convert it in time. Now there's rook d1, then b2, queen h8, king e7, there's no mate. So he decides to trade queens this way instead. But a4, that is just a blunder. No, he should be able to flag, rook a2. No, the position is disintegrating as well. So, good win by Hikaru in the end. Yeah, h4. I mean, there's zero chance here. And checkmate. Wonder what happened earlier in the game here. This was interesting. I'm sure here g6 is just really good for black. Nope, I'd be wrong. Okay, so in this case, here g6 must be winning. Okay, at least here it is, so I'm not completely crazy. Yeah, queen b5 was a bit panicky, which often happens against Hikaru and myself, to be fair. Okay. I will take a little break again, and then I will be back soon. Meanwhile, enjoy the music. Not from this stream, but you can play it on your own.
People are talking?
No, I know. But I'm wondering, like, the sound on the stream, if that's okay.
No, it's working fine.
It's working fine. Okay.
I will open the window.
Cool.
Much better, right?
Oh, yeah. I can feel it already.
The rating points just went up by 50.
Not even kidding. Probably true.
If you need a glass or whatever, let us know.
Thanks again, Magnus. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shall I close the door?
Yeah, probably. Exclamation mark sound. Yes, the sound is working. Woohoo. Did I have big enough glasses? No. It's terrible. Completely unacceptable. Okay, so we can see me on the first page. 404. It's always a good sign. The next round starts in, I would probably guess 2 minutes, but I don't know. Something like that. Faustino's 3 out of 4 in Tata. Very impressive. Yeah, I'm gonna check the games out later. Okay, 2 minutes again. Turns out I have no... I feel like... Yeah, didn't I beat him last title Tuesday with the Sicilian? Vohido. Let's see if he's learned. Okay, let's play a different Sicilian this time. Ugh, boring. Should I play queen d5? It's not what I usually do necessarily, but we all like some change here and there. I don't really know what I'm doing here, by the way, but I'm pretending. Looks reasonable. You end up with some kind of French-looking position. That should be alright for me. Here. Maybe he takes. b6 is 95 a problem. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I actually really messed up. Yeah, I feel like this is a bit unpleasant. Okay, I'm gonna try. No. I was intending knight d4, knight e5, but that loses to knight b6. Okay, but then that move was just horrible. Let's try queen c5 then. Bring the queen around here, but I am much worse already. But I've survived worse through my 35 years of playing chess, or at least being alive, playing the chess for a lot of them. Feeling old yet? Let's play rook d8. Queen b3, and now we go queen c7, I believe. Or maybe knight d5 first, actually. Yeah, maybe we do this first. I don't love queen b3. I think that's more of a pseudo-active move than anything else. Like, now maybe I get queen c7. And then I might be quite alright, actually. Knight c5, queen c2. I mean, maybe quite alright is an overstatement, but it doesn't look horrible. This is interesting. Knight e6 doesn't work. Rook e6 is first d4. What am I talking about? Next, I would probably want to go knight df6. Even here, I think. Oh boy. Is bishop d5 good? Knight rook d5, knight b6. No, that doesn't work. I don't know what I'm not. I'm seeing ghosts. Not goats, but ghosts. Guess I go here. I mean, this is not a dream, that's for sure. No, it doesn't work. So we have to go here. It's really dicey. I mean, it's not even dicey, it's just bad for me. But as long as, like, this is just to prepare g5, h6, honestly. Knight b6, I'm not sure I love for him. Thought knight could probably go here. I really, really need to develop soon. Knight c8, I think I got queen c8, and then that kind of... No, what is he doing? That is just an inexplicable blunder. I mean, if I'm gonna receive gifts like this, then I certainly have a chance in this tournament. That was just a free piece. Unfortunate. As I said in the previous game, sometimes it's a shame that these games are decided by a crude blunder, but as long as I'm on the receiving end then of these blunders, then I don't mind. I mean, everything obviously wins, but this seems simple enough. D1, sending knight h4, and knight e1, or knight f4, which all seem like decisive threats. I mean, I allow one check. Why should I allow one check when I can choose to not allow one check? Also, I'm not going to give him this pawn. And that he's playing on here can mainly be attributed to tilt. And now he's losing his rook as well, so he resigns. Okay. I was obviously in big trouble here with poor development. Yeah, I mean, bishop d5 and then bishop g3 was winning. Also, knight e2 was winning. This was bad because of e5, which I didn't see. And of course, this blunders. Yeah. What can I say? Oh, Carl lost. Wow. That was sudden. And Draken is dangerous sometimes. Okay. Not a great game, but we survive and we get ourselves to 5 out of 5. Okay, let's look at Lazovic. My upcoming opponent in the... Well, he drew already, apparently. My upcoming opponent in the Speeches Championship semi-final. Well, Jeffrey X seems to be winning. Beat on Draken to avenge Hikari. Yeah, I'll try. That will be my motivation. The Avengers. So idea is to go bishop e8, bishop f7 maybe? You said boring to the Alapin, but you've been playing it recently too. If you're gonna be a wise guy, go somewhere else. No, I'm not getting Lazovic next round, but in the Speeches Championship. This is why I said Speeches Championship and not next round. Dumbass. Okay, rook d2 loses easily. Had to go rook a7 and then rook d7, but it should still Let's see how this will work out on time. In the meantime, we have 6 players. Oh, Jeffrey's not fast enough, is he? Meantime, we have 6 players with 5 out of 5. Not a few more games going, so. Let's see if the rook will prevail. This guy is pretty fast. Oh. Yeah, Jeffrey was either not fast enough or his internet was not good enough. Anyway, that leaves us with 6 players on 5 out of 5 and new round starting very soon. And I'm sure to get a very strong opponent. Which match will I watch today in the Champions League? Well, probably none, because I have to catch a flight. But maybe I'll try and watch a little bit of Bulleglimt, Manchester City on the way to the airport. Yeah, I don't know why I'm playing this. It's fairly boring. And we end up in like sort of the same positions here every time. I mean, I can go d4, I can go knight f1, but it essentially leads to the same thing. Let's try something a little bit different. Try and play a fixed pawn structure with c4. The idea would be that if he goes b4, then I'm hoping that my bishop is slightly more active than his. Don't know if that's real or not. Bishop d7, I'm not sure that I love. I mean, it's all like, if I have an advantage at all, it's very, very minuscule, but that's probably a reasonable move, isn't it? Rook e2, is there any point to that? Maybe trying later on to swing the rook over. Like, my entire play is based on this bishop being the same color as these pawns, and hoping that gives me tiny, tiny edge. So I'm allowing the bishop to get here, but then I will exchange it for knight, which should be very slightly favorable. Otherwise, I'm trying to bring the rook over at some point. Okay, so he realizes that I'm not actually threatening to bring the rook over, because then he has the very annoying move, bishop to c3. So I guess I gotta go rook a3 first. And then I can activate the rooks on the a file. We'll go rook a7, I think. And then rook a2. I really want to sack the exchange and just go attack. I don't believe, like, his bishop is completely out of play over here. But I still don't really believe that it works. It is tempting, though. Yeah. Let's go rook a6. Trying to provoke bishop c8. Then we go back. It's all just very, very cagey. Now we can bring his bishop around again. And yeah. I mean, this too. It's very reasonable. Yeah, I don't have any advantage here. But life goes on. Rook a6. That feels a little bit loose somehow. It's okay. b3, bc4. At least my rook is active. Maybe I can sack the exchange in some lines. Who knows? Also preparing to activate the queen. Still, this bishop is a little bit out of play here. It's not really pointing at anything. So maybe, just maybe, that's something I can use to my advantage. Knight c3 is a move, but I don't love it for him. Like queen c2, and what is he really trying to do? Knight c7. Well, that move I didn't see at all. Is rook c6 a move? Let's try rook d6. I might want to sack the exchange here. Well, he kind of called my bluff. Because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to. Thought worst case I can just go back. Tail between my legs. And it's not like he's achieved a ton by bringing the knight from d5 to b5. Oh! I thought that was 2 times. I actually like wanted to move. It's not like I'm better, but I wanted to move my rooks though. Yeah. I was thinking about this. Knight d6 and queen g4. Knight f3. Queen e4 maybe. Oh, it's more difficult for black than I thought. Rook e7. If I give a check, he goes back, yeah? No, I should have tried this. I mean, my intention was just to play this position like rook a4. But then yeah, I mean, that was just counting mistake. I thought he played it knights. This is evidently 3 times. Because I'd only put the rook on d6 twice, but I forgot that my rook came from a6 the second time. Is that b5 or d5 and rook d6? Ah, that is so sloppy. Oh well. That is fine still. Wesley got 6 out of 6. So probably playing him next. Rest have 5.5 as well. Okay. Jeffrey X. Lozovic is playing another fun game. Yeah, that was... I don't know what happened there. That was just... brain fart. Well, will I come back to classical chess this year to keep myself as an active player? Well, I am an active player. Don't know what to say. Yeah, 5.5 out of 6 is obviously good. I have not played great, but I always say that, so shouldn't complain. Shouldn't complain at all. Are these people still playing? Okay, is this? No, it's not going. Then the round should be starting, no? Next round starting soon. And if I were to guess, it's going to be Wesley with the black pieces. Why didn't I go rook d6 instead of rook d6? We don't have those chess technical discussions on this channel. Sorry. But, I mean, there was knight e7, for instance. I don't think it was great. Oh, I got the white pieces again. What a luxury. Is he playing the... What does he play these days? No, I think that's a mistake by Wesley. This allows the Queen's Gambit with... No, there's some line... there's some line that people play now, yeah? C5 and... It's one that I don't remember. Some old Karpov Kasparov game here, right? With bishop g4, h3, takes, d4. Like, I'm sure this has been sold with engines, and I just don't know it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Queen e7. Yeah, this looks like some kind of mass liquidation and starting to look drawish. Very drawish. This, maybe? It's not impressive, that's for sure. But maybe we can pretend to have some slight advantage here. Thinking that bishop is stronger than... I don't know why I went with this rook. Why on earth did I go with this rook? Not the other one. Maybe in some lines queen takes e1 is not check. For some reason, I was considering... Oh, it's because in the other lines, I wanted the rook on e1 after taking on d4, bishop d4, so that I can play b3 later. That's why. But here it doesn't make a ton of sense. But this does feel a little bit more equal for white than for black. Queen c5, then I can continue harassing his queen with rook c3. And yeah, I mean, it's not as though he's... It's not as though he's liquidating everything immediately. Like, I'm probably going to get an extra pawn here. That doesn't work for me. Okay. I think we're gonna take and then go b4. He is trading a lot of pawns here, but I am going to be up one. Take. And then rook fc1. I beat him in one of the online tournaments. I think that was the Opera Rapid, if I'm not completely mistaken. In the preliminaries, I beat him in a somewhat similar position where he kind of almost equalized, but then I eventually managed to press it home with a passed A pawn or B pawn. This also looks a little bit similar to my game against Niemann from the World Rapid, where I did have a B pawn there, which is a bit more favorable for me, but still, it's not as though it's completely equal. I can go rook c7 now. It's kind of semi-tempting. Let's start with h4, sorry. Oh, so now he wants rook a8. That actually makes a ton of sense. Okay. Let's trade queens then. Should play a bit faster. Rook a8, rook c8. It's not an obvious draw since his rook is not behind my pawn. I think it's a draw still, but it's not going to be super easy. Rook e6. So give a check and then rook 7. He can go rook here though. But we'll continue to grind. Oh my god. I guess not for much longer, huh? Okay, let's try and flag then. I guess I'm only trying to flag myself here. Need a little bit more space. Now at many points as well, he can just trade rooks if he wants to. Let's see. Let's make him earn it. No. Oh, I had rook. Damn it, I had rookie. I was kind of close to winning there. I mean, not really, but... See if I can really dirty flag him here. See if he wants to trade. I mean, it's a dead draw if he does. Yeah. This position is such a dead draw. Yeah, there's no chance here. King F2 as well. I have to repeat. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of a bit sad. I guess I was never actually like really much better, but oh my god. How does this work? Queen h5 immediately and then rook takes b6. Are you kidding me? And otherwise there's... Oh, and rook b1 takes on b4 and I get a much better pass pawn. And now indeed I don't have anything. What am I doing? That's so soft. I'm not taking my chances at all. I'm just... soft playing good position. Okay. Shape up. Shape up. That was not good. Consecutive draws against Americans. Trying to invade our neighboring country, and this is all we can do. Let's look at one crucial game here. Nihal against Sevian. This is going to end in a draw. They're going to be on 6 out of 7 as well. So it's So and Jeffrey Chong with 6.5, and then myself and a bunch of others with 6 out of 7. It's a green background. Am I gonna tell you that's a coincidence? I didn't set it up, so I don't know. And please, mods, kick out everybody who says 6-7. As like the best reason of all not to ever get that score. Boo, you suck. This is what he does, isn't it? Let's try and play as I played against Maxim and in the World Blitz with an early b5, not kicking the queen away. I know that he plays this line with the early queen foray. I think in that line Maxim had already gone knight b knight of 3, which is not necessarily where you want the knight. Here he has a little bit more flexibility. It looks a bit sus. Maybe you can go for a quick knight d5 or something. Maybe not. A take d6. What's the big deal? No, well, he goes for it. And knight e7, blocking the check, but my development is obviously quite poor. I'm developmentally challenged, as they say these days. What happened there? My mouse froze for a sec. It's probably a skill issue. Knight h4. Gotta go king d8, yeah? Think so. Escaping the pin, preventing knight f5. And I am a piece up though, so even though that is about the only positive thing you can say about my position, that may still be fairly significant. And knight d7 next is going to solve a lot of problems. Now, if I were a good commentator, I would have prepared my next sentence, like why is knight d7 an important move, and so on. But I haven't, because I can play chess much better than I explain it, sadly. f6, he wants to take, rook here, knight f5, knight d7. That doesn't really work for him, does it? That was not the conclusion I expected to reach while starting that sentence, but here we are. Yeah, I mean, that is an admission of failure if I were someone. Now I develop, this is threatened. There's always going to be some practical counterplay, as my king is weak, but I don't think he really has much here. This is often a good move to get in the Sicilian, because you sometimes have to make a little bit of an awkward move to prevent the crude threat of checkmate. And if you're wondering if I'm saying crude a bit too much because I just learned that word, no, I didn't. But it's a good word, isn't it? Let's take this. How bad can that be? Bishop g2. And then I think probably just knight b6, to be honest. Or queen c5. No, not queen c5. You're crazy. Bishop a5, yeah, but I am consolidating here. King c7, king b8. And we're slowly but surely getting to safety. Knight d6 was possible there, but bishop d6 here. If he had time to go rook e7, he might have some counterplay, but his rook was hanging. So now I've successfully extricated the king, and I am a fairly clean piece up. Let's threaten mate again. Well, not really mate, but at least an unpleasant check. That's a good move. Prepares knight d4. That was somewhat missed by me. Let's change plan. Bishop c5. That's a little bit risky, isn't it? My pieces are somewhat awkwardly placed. I gotta admit that. Okay, I think we gotta try and trade a little bit. Knight f5. I didn't really expect that. I thought he would go f4 immediately. And if I take queen d4, knight f3, I mean, there's b6 hanging at the end of it, so that wasn't really clear at all. Whereas now, well, he gets g7, but I've consolidated my position and I do have some trumps of my own. Much like the United States. Queen c5. Preparing this, and yeah, exactly here I wanted d4 and attack with d3. And we are dangerously nearing Resign's territory. If he takes, I take, and there's a discovered check with knight to d4, and now I get a very dangerous passed pawn and attack as well. I think this wins knight b4. But seems incredibly unnecessary. Unless you're in a certain kind of mood, then you always take the easy option in such situations. Because you want to win the game with absolute 100% certainty, not 99.9. Here it takes rook e1, rook g1, there's queen c1, checkmate, just to show that. Boom! I wonder if I was ever like in serious trouble here. Yeah, at least on low depth, the engine says it's fine. Queen c7 is good. King d8 is good. f6 is good. Those don't work. Knight here. Exactly. Bishop d5 is very cool, but here. Rook c8 threatens mate. Apart from that, you have knight e5, rook e5, but basically even like knight b6, there's no attack. Okay. Did they just play 4 moves? No. This is an actual real game. But, oh wow. Good defense by Jeffrey then. Ending in a draw. So we got... Ikari lost. But we got Lazovic winning, Andreikin winning, Sevian, bunch of people winning. So 9 players with 7 out of 8. So this is going to be a proper fight towards the end. But got a fairly good tiebreak. So I'm guessing 2.5 out of 3. It's going to be very likely to be enough to win the tournament. But I'm just happy to be in a good situation. Okay, boys and girls. 7-8. Yeah, I like that one better. As usual, we'll take a little bathroom break, and we shall be right back. Go back to Florida? Is that to me or somebody else? Nice. Unlike the troll. Yeah, this time we certainly have plenty of time before tournament starts. It's also fascinating that 4 players are tied basically now on tiebreak at the top. It's going to be a proper race to the finish. I am going to watch the UCL. And yeah. Mods still just ban anybody who says anything about Bully Glimt against Manchester City, because I want to watch that later. Let's check out the lineups. Oh, Blomberg is back. Cool. Otherwise, you got the standard lineup for Bully Glimt. Oh, they play with both O'Reilly and Aitnuri. Nunes is still out. Rodri apparently can play 3 games a week now. It's gonna be fun. I'm considering to go to the Atleti Bulligant game in a couple of weeks. It could be fun. Sound is very low. Well, it's mic is far away. Movie closer. Also, I'm not speaking very loudly. Probably also used to. You're not used to soft speakers, such as myself. I remember first time in India for World Championship in 2013. My dad was referred to as soft-spoken. He wasn't sure whether to take it as a compliment or not, but he chose, after a long think, to take it as a compliment. Well, we got music on stream now. We're working on it, but it's difficult. It's hard to do technically. Okay, Jeffrey, let's go with knight f3. Then g3. Oh, this is what he does. C4, does he want to take? No, then he wants knight of 6 and so on. Yeah. That's the idea. He wants to transpose kind of into the Dubov Tarsh. That's the idea. What if I go e4 here? Let's try that. Why not? d4, expected that. Here, maybe? I don't think this is very impressive. Yeah, this is actually quite unimpressive, what I'm doing. There should be 6 now. Trade, f4. Don't really believe it. Foreign bishop b. At least I got some bishops. Could be interesting. She does have a little bit of backwards development. Bishop f4 was my idea. Don't know if it's really that good, but it's what I was relying on at least. Here I can take the knight, so he cannot. Otherwise, if he takes the pawn, then he can win this pawn. That is at least something. And g5, well, that I kind of almost dismissed for being too risky, but maybe it's quite reasonable. h3, knight e3, it's maybe not impressive. Guess I gotta go c3. At least now with knight e3, I get a good square for the knight after trading. I think I should not trade queens. With this pawn, his queen might be quite exposed. Rook e1, I suppose. Just trying to clean up. Seems to me that I should be winning a pawn here. I think after bishop g4 I can go queen b3. Because queen c2 I'm allowing rook c8, which is a bit annoying. Then I cannot really take the pawn because of this pin. But queen b3 and then I believe I'm doing well. Okay, b5. He wants rook takes e3, b4 I suppose. Probably just go a3. Still, I mean bishop g4. Queen b3. Don't see anything for him there. I don't know. Maybe I should have just taken. Well, now I will take for sure. There was knight c4 there. And then rook e2, bishop g4. Maybe that would have been interesting. Here, then I target this. No, I got, don't worry, I got this. Like knight c4, rook e1, sorry, and then queen c1 attacking b2 and g5. So that's fine. Knight c6, I got rook d3 still. And I don't see a clear path for him to be alright. Does he want bishop g4? Does he want knight g4? I don't 100% see it. This is also, by the way. f6? Very strange. I think this is reasonable. I don't see why this is a blunder. Oh, does he want? No, I don't think so. I mean, bishop b3, queen g1, bishop g4, queen g1, knight g4, rook e2. All of those seem fine. There's bishop c4, but that doesn't do a whole lot. He gets knight e3 later on, but that just gives me favorable trades, I think. Maybe there's rook f3 too. I don't know. But this seems kind of simpler. Okay. Yeah, but this I don't believe. I mean, he has nice positional compensation, but it's a full exchange. It can never really be enough. Check. King h2. This was a potential threat as well. Yeah, queen c5. Queen c5 should do it. Knight f3, I got takes. Queen d2. Yeah. Was a good try, but it doesn't work. Rook e2 and queen f2. Okay, good game. I think. I don't know if everything was correct, but it felt to me as though my mind was working reasonably well. Oh, he should not take, yeah? Yeah, c3 now. I was kind of correct that I'm better. Q1, a3 is good. Take it, king h1. This, yeah, just doesn't work. Here. And here we have kind of the same trick. Queen takes e5. And then b5, trapping this bishop. Okay, yeah, I think that was good. Combining some tactical and positional themes in a fairly good way. Oh, it's funny that if he takes this, c1, this, a8 actually. I think I mentioned it on stream before, but I've been thinking about the fact that it feels as though like when you make a threat and then your opponent makes a new queen, and it feels like accidentally prevents that threat, and you're thinking, oh, that's so unlucky. But statistically, it's actually quite likely that when your opponent makes a queen, that the queen will, like, the queen covers so many squares that it's quite likely that your threat is nullified by that. I think it's like in a vacuum, it's like 35 or 40% or something. At least the way that I looked at it a while ago. Don't know if that's correct, but who cares? Okay, Nihal 1. So he makes 8 out of 9, 2. And Wesley 1, as we saw. So that's a 3-way tie for first now. I got significantly better tiebreakers. And I assume that I play Nihal with the black pieces now. And I think even a draw in that game is not bad, since I have good tie breaks and I can win the last round. Ella Carlsen asks if it is it difficult being so good looking. First of all, cringe. But I can ask the same question back. Okay. Neil Sarin. very good player, of course. Let's play an early b6 against him. f3. So this is what I had in the World Cup against Gukesh back in 2023. And maybe I played it against Neil or somebody online too, but I don't remember. But the game went a3 and then bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, and d takes e4, and unless Neil has some incredible novelty up his sleeve here, then black is doing relatively alright. Bishop c7, there's knight to d5, and if d5 as Gukesh played, there's knight takes d5, queen takes g7, queen f6, and so on, and black is perfectly fine. I think Gukesh actually played bishop e5 and then king e7 and then bishop takes c7 in order to check the queen king later with bishop d6. I think, like, as far as I can remember, white is not better here at all. Like, he's kind of the one who has to play a little bit more precisely. Because, well, the bishop pair is a factor, but my pieces are super active. And, well, these pieces are not. And also I got more pawns in the center. So, to my untrained eye, it feels like there's more positional risk here with white than with black. Okay, so the idea is here, he wants knight f3. And then probably develop with rook g1, and then develop the bishop and so on. I guess we take for the bishop then. Rook d2. This is so tempting. Knight c5. Yeah, this has got to be good. Bishop f6, of course, the idea is this little fork. Take the rook. And then at the very least, I can invade, taking on... actually, that's a nice line. Bishop takes f6, knight b3, king moves, I take the rook, he takes the rook, and I take rook takes g2 immediately. And once he takes... No, he must have blundered that. Oh, there's king e3. This is so suspicious, what he's doing. Not like sus in that way. I just don't believe this can work. Like, not suspicious in any way that you guys might think. I just find this very hard to believe. Maybe it does work. Yeah, there's just nothing for me here, is there? Like, I'm not doing poorly by any means. But I guess my dreams of winning... Oh, no, there's knight d2, e2. So I kind of have to take here first. That's a shame. It's actually a real shame. Rook e2. Here I got... no, I don't even have that. Oh boy. I think we just gotta sack the exchange. cut our losses for now. Rook c1 good? No, I mean, he's not better there. I don't think. Rook a2, rook c7, rook f2. What's his idea? I don't see it. Rook c7, I mean rook c8, I start escaping, and if knight e5, I have rook d2 check. Or this rook and then rook d5, like, completely fine. What's this idea? Here? Then rook f1, no? And I'm threatening this. This, maybe? Oh, this is so complicated. Why do I have to go and make this position so complicated? Maybe I could have just gone rook e2 and then... No, rook c... No, that didn't work. Okay, at least he's spending a ton of time. This one... I mean... Rook f2... Very tense. Rook king f4, then I can go king d7, I believe. e5 should be possible. Knight e5, king e6, knight g4, or rook. It's not that clear, actually. No, okay, let's go for it. That's a bit too safe. Kind of regret that a little bit. Yeah, this is too safe. But, I mean, I still got excellent practical chances of winning here. Is that really any good? Okay, at least I got this. Knight g4. No, here he loses h2. That cannot be any good. Okay, let's not trap my own rook. Here, h5. This should be enough. There's no... He defends really well, and he's really fast, so... It's not a foregone conclusion by any means. Oh boy. Didn't see that. Okay, but he's getting checkmated here very soon. Here and here. Okay. Good stuff. Tough game. Very, very tactical, unclear. C5, yeah, it's not that big a deal. It went rook g6 here. It's too difficult. Okay. Lazovic, last round. Let's look at the standings, though. Can we get updated standings? Okay, so I'm the only one. Oh, Mishanik has a good Arabic as well. Okay. I think we'll play fairly safely against Mr. Lazovic. It's not a guarantee to win the tournament with a draw, but there's a very good chance, and at least he cannot win. Let's play something a little bit different. H3. Queen f3. So that we're not like it's not as if we're playing extremely aggressively here, but at least we're not playing 100% for a draw. I think it's kind of more accurate to start with queen c7 rather than bishop b6, but regardless, of course, I don't have a ton here. a4, at least I can go b4. I hope that structure is very slightly favorable to me. I think we trade the queens. Trade again. We go c4, and d4 we go c5. And we're claiming to be very slightly better. f3. No reason to determine the situation on the queen side quite yet. I can wait a move. a4, I think I go b4. Oh, that's what he wants. g5 should be somewhat weakening if he has to go for that. Probably not a big deal, though. h4. Yeah, it's not a big deal at all. Right here maybe, and then bishop f5, hoping to exploit this. I can still go k3, hg, rook h1, bishop g4, rook h4. Should be fine. He goes rook c8 though. Oh, I gotta play faster. I'm just wasting my time. Why did I allow? Okay, I still got bishop f5. I'm still fine. No, maybe I'm not fine there. I'm drifting into a worse position now, which is quite unnecessary. It's not a big deal though. Don't know why he did that. Let's see. Are there any other games finished? Mishanik is still playing. Still potentially looking at this idea. Okay. Time-wise, I'm still doing quite alright. So I'm not worried about that yet. Check. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. We gotta just bail out and make a drop. Maybe I'm not making such an easy draw. Rook takes f3? What am I doing? What am I doing? I mean, A2 and King G2 is a fairly standard draw. He cannot get to this pawn. But he can try and flag me, of course. But he's not really up on time. Just gotta be fast enough. So it's completely fair game, by the way. I would try to flag him too. Okay. This is not going to be in time to flag. And draw. Okay, let's see. Mishanik. How he's doing. Can I watch the game? Apparently not. Mishanik made a draw. So, we win. Clear first. 9.5 out of 11. A bit of a sweaty draw there in the last round, but for once we're undefeated. 9 out of 11, like, I usually lose at least one game during Title Tuesday because I end up taking too many chances in games, and I'm also often not good enough. But it is a big win, and I actually have the tournament is over. I won the tournament. Lazovic second, Jeffrey third, Mishanik fourth, and so on. I have to end the stream. I have to run. I have to catch a flight. Otherwise, my wife is not going to be happy. But till next week.